Hi, Zuko here. I've got wares if you've got coin. Hi, welcome to my channel. So today I'll be doing the new Booktuber tag because I'm new to Booktube and this seems like a really good first video to make. Plus it's also a really nice way to rant about books for a solid 10 minutes, so let's get into it. Question 1, why did you start this channel? I started this channel because I want to be able to talk about books with like-minded people and really just have an excuse to talk about something I like for an extremely long time without boring anyone. I really like discussing atmosphere and the way that the book makes me feel, and many people, when they want a recommendation, it's usually a 3-liner and then thanks, but no thanks, I've got stuff to do. So I feel like Booktube would be the perfect place to do that. Question 2, what are some fun and unique things that you can bring to Booktube? Now the thing is, I want to make my channel a bit different. I don't particularly agree with one aspect of Booktube, which is the buying and the constant production of hauls and the more materialistic side of Booktube. I'm kind of a slowish reader compared to the people who inhale, 20 books per month. So I would really like to make this channel for the slower readers. It's going to have little bits and bobs of stationery and book-inspired locations mixed into it, and it's more about the overall feel rather than the pure discussion of these particular books. Although book reviews definitely coming because I need to talk about The Wolves of Mercyfall and make sure that everybody knows that this series is so good. Question 3, so what are you most excited for about this channel? Honestly, I'm excited to get better at something that I have loved doing for a very long time, but I've never done it in front of a camera or in front of people and an audience and never gotten feedback on it either. I think that this kind of project is going to embolden me to share my opinions not only about books, which I love doing anyway, but also about things in general, and also meeting so many people who do the thing that you love doing as well, and to hear what they have to say about the things that they love, why something was good in their opinion or something was bad in their opinion. That's just amazing, so why wouldn't I be excited? Question 4, why do you love reading? I love reading for 2 reasons, and I think a lot of people fall in one of these 3 categories. Now, I say 3 because the 2 reasons also have a tendency to overlap, and I feel like I fall in the center of it. There are people who read for entertainment purposes. I believe there's nothing wrong with that. It's just treating books as a form of entertainment, such as media and movies, video games, etc., which have a story, which have characters, and you absorb it, enjoy it, but you don't really sit and think about it. And the thing is, I read some books like that, especially when they don't really have a particular
plot or, compelling characters, etc.
And when I was younger, I was definitely one of these people. I enjoyed it without understanding what I was enjoying. Then there is the opposite, which are people who read in order to study what the writing is about. A lot of lit students, like some of my friends, they would read books and then analyze them absolutely to the T, to the point that whenever you read a new book, you can't help but analyze and not really feel the atmosphere that the author is trying to craft. And then I feel like a lot of readers fall into the middle category, which is you read because you want to be entertained, but you also analyze what makes it good. And I want to read because I want to go on the adventures that the authors meant us to go on. I want to understand why they picked the words that they did or the descriptions and metaphors that they implanted into the book. But at the same time, I want to get absorbed and enveloped by a feeling that just overwhelms you and that you get transported into a different life. Good books, in my opinion, are those that absolutely take you out of the moment that you're in and put you in a completely different body, in a completely different situation, and make you live that life that you didn't know you could live. And that's the mark of good writing. So I guess my answer is kind of voluminous and multi-tiered. I think that reading, for me, is to experience adventure. It's to learn about writing. It's to learn about atmosphere building, but it's also to distract myself and escape. It's a way to ground myself with characters that are similar to me, but also to learn the lessons that they learned without having to go through those situations. I love reading for everything that it can give me and has given me. Question 5. What book or book series got you into reading? I think I can attribute my love for reading thanks to my parents, who always read me a bedtime story and made sure that I had a very active imagination. But for a specific book series, I don't think there is one in particular. I remember some standout series that marked various milestones in my life. For example, the first Harry Potter series was the first series that I started tracking down and going to releases, and it was a huge monumentous occasion in my life because of that. Anne of Green Gables is another series, and it made me appreciate older writing for my age group and veered me towards more classical literature. The Wolves of Mercy Falls series really taught me about metaphors and the intricacy of language, and she was the first author who wrote in the way that I thought. So when I started reading the series, it was for the first time seeing as if somebody took the way I think and planted it on paper, and that was really comforting and inspiring for me. So to sum it up, I don't think I have a series or a book that got me into reading, because I feel like I've been doing it my entire life, but there are definitely landmark series which I can tag to certain events that happened. Question 6. What question would you ask some of your favorite booktubers? Do you want to be friends? Question 7. What challenges do you think starting a booktube channel will be the hardest to overcome? For me personally, I think running a booktube channel will be the same as running any personal project that I have, which is I tend to lean towards the side of perfectionism, and I like to sit over something for a very long time until it comes out of my brain in the exact way that I want it to. When making videos, or when writing, or when doing any other thing, as we all know, most of the time that isn't the best thing, because when it lives in your head, you can't put it out there. People can't enjoy what you're imagining. People can't comment on it, or they can't give you feedback. But that is something that I need to deal with. That will be a bit of a challenge, but I'm sure that I'm going to manage. And just remember that I want to talk about something that I love, then everything is going to be fine. Question number 8. When did you start reading? I think I answered this in my previous question, but I started reading from a very, very young age. And before I could read, I was being read to. So I would say for as long as I can remember. Question number 9, where do you read? So in this apartment, my favorite place to read is right over here on the couch in this really, really nice corner. But in general, I usually have a book with me everywhere I go. And question number 10, what kind of books do you like to read? I like to read everything. And I'm not saying this because,
oh, it's the fancy thing to do, and
oh, if you have a booktube channel, obviously you like to read everything.
but I genuinely think that as long as somebody put an effort into writing this book, I will give it a shot. Whether it's fiction, nonfiction, novellas, true crime, mystery, high fantasy, low fantasy, from A to Z, if there's a book, I will open it and I will give it a shot. I'm not saying I will like the way that it's written or I will like the content, but I have never looked at a book or gone towards a certain section thinking this is the only thing that I'm reading. I think that's kind of liberating, you know, because I've never had the problem of, oh, there's nothing to read recently, or there's nothing to read because nothing has been recently published in the genre, or there's nothing to read because I've read everything popular in that section. Sure, I come across a few not so great books, in my opinion, but that's what makes it interesting. But yeah, that is me. I hope you enjoyed the video, and if you want to follow me on my little rambles, then you're welcome to do so, and please link your channels or whatever social media that you have to do with books if you do something like this, because I am here, I'm ready to make friends, and I'm ready to follow content and make sure to read everything that's being recommended, because there's so many recommendations and people have such diverse tastes that it's so interesting when you come across somebody's favorite book and it's something that you would never ever have thought in a million years you would be interested in. Alright, I'm off to get lunch, and I guess until the next one.